Hey guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Very special episode today. We're going to be highlighting a free-to-play pro. This guy is absolutely amazing. I think you're really going to enjoy today's content. By the way, this is Eclipse's clan. I didn't even realize till I got here. This clan is super chatty. I'm having trouble even recording the replays because they are so active. But this is the guy we're going to be spotlighting today, guys. His name is Nick, aka Fade. And he messaged me on Twitter. He said, hey, I'm a free-to-play player. I'm at 3,800 cups plus, and I've been using the same deck for 8 months straight. And you can see, guys, there's a lot of people out there in the game who are level 9 but have like level 2 or 3 legendaries. This guy is genuinely free-to-play. He's a level 9, and this guy is consistently beating level 11s and level 12 up in legendary arenas. So if he can do it, hopefully there's a case that you can do it too if you're a free-to-play player. I know a lot of you guys are going to enjoy this, and I actually had a chance to go back and forth a little bit through emails with Fxde, and he was able to give me a bunch of tips being a free-to-play player way up here in legendary arena. So what we're gonna do is spend half this video really going over his list of tips, and then the other half will give a little play-by-play and give specific strategy advice for his deck. So let's get into it, guys. Let's start with the tips that he gave, because I think a lot of you guys are gonna find these really valuable. Now, some of them might be a little bit obvious, but it's good even to just remind yourself of some of these things from time to time. So the number one thing I asked Fade about was card upgrades. So you'll notice that he has level 10 commons except for barbarians. His barbarians are level 12. That's because obviously he's been requesting exclusively barbarians for quite a while. Now that he got the barbarians to level 12, he's begun to work on the minions. So his minion horde is level 11. Everything else is level 10. As far as his rares go, they're all level 8, and that's all he plays with. So he's been playing with this same deck over and over again, and that actually makes it a bit easier to upgrade your cards because you can focus on only requesting from your clanmates the cards that you really need for the deck that you've been practicing with for so long, like Fade here. So beyond the card upgrading, he said a big thing that we already kind of touched on, but it's worth mentioning again, is that he only uses the same exact deck, and he never veers off from it. So, you know, this is kind of a reoccurring theme for all the expert videos that I've done in over the past year since Clash Royale's been out. I'll tell you what, it seems like 90% of them never ever switch decks. So if you want to pick up one thing from today's video, besides the strategy advice, don't switch your deck if you want to become a next level player. I mean, it sounds way easier than it is, and let me tell you, I am not a good example. I switch my deck all the time because kind of for YouTube, I feel like you have to have a little basic knowledge on every single deck in the meta. Now, speaking of meta, that brings me to my next point that Fade shared with me. He said that don't pay attention to balancing changes. Still continue to stick with your deck if it's working for you, despite whatever the game brings in terms of balancing updates and stuff like that. He said that a lot of players, and I tend to agree with him, a lot of players will make drastic changes after balance updates, even with like a 3 or 4 or 5% buff or nerf to a card, and that's generally not enough to make a card totally useless or a total game changer the other way around, one way or the other. So you can see right there, he just took down a level 12. That's right, he took down a level 12 as a level 9. That is incredibly impressive. Now let me try to find the next replay. Did I mention these guys were chatty? I mean, oh my god. Okay, so did I miss it? Let me go ahead and find this. Jeez, you guys, you're killing me, guys. Okay, here it is. So this is the next one here, a level 11 this time, and it's really funny. He goes, wow, well played right off the bat here. So you know what, now that we get a little bit of a BM kind of thing going on by Alejandro here, I kind of want to talk about this a little bit, because this is another thing that Nick said that was very important to him. He said that because he's such a low level in legendary arena, way over at 3,800 cups and beyond, right now I think he's at 3830 right now in game, but either way, he said he runs into a ton of BMers, and he said he just ignores it all 100%, doesn't even pay attention to anything they're doing. He doesn't want to be taken off his game. Now that even remains the same for when they add the muting option. You're still going to be able to tell that your opponent is trying to communicate with you, but either way, you know, I mean, being a level 9 and going up against level 10, 11, 12, even level 13s on the regular when you're this high in trophies, people have a tendency to treat you like a pushover and just assume they're going to pick up the win off the match, and because of that, they get cocky, and he actually sees a lot more BMing than your average player would. So because of that, he really has to have that thick skin, and you'll notice through all of these matches, and Nick didn't know I was going to come and record today, but through every single one of these matches, you'll see no communication, even after he's BM. So definitely Nick always takes the high road, so he's definitely a player to look up to for people who are free to play and looking for someone who's really good, and really obviously is a good sportsman too. So I really like that about the guy. So now kind of going into these matches, let's kind of analyze the deck and try to see what he's trying to do here. Obviously, he has a lot of bait for the opponent's arrows or zap. He has goblins and spear goblins in this deck, and then he has the goblin barrel and the minion horde. So basically, I mean, the idea behind this deck, other than the hog rider offensively, is going to be bait out your opponent's arrows or their zap, obviously, or whatever sort of direct damage they have, and then try to really capitalize when you know they don't have their direct damage in their cycle, and try to hit them hard with the goblin barrel, the minion horde, whatever you have handy. So here you can see, pretty easy, he just keeps chipping away at that right tower, always focusing on defense, and then when he sees his opponent plays the lava hound there, he's ready with a big push in the opposite lane. So he's not necessarily playing defensively, but he's thinking defense first and then choosing his spots to go really aggressive offensively. So he really has the basics of this deck down. Another thing he mentioned as far as the card levels is he's been playing this deck so very long, and as a free-to-play player, obviously he's not upgrading his cards that often, so he really knows exactly how many hit points every single one of his cards has, and he knows what he needs to counter everything given his card levels. It's almost like how we feel about tournament play. I think by this time, everybody kind of knows the tournament standards, and that's kind of how Nick is in general ladder play. He's just so familiar with this deck, and he picked up another beautiful 2-crown victory against a level 11. I mean, this guy is so impressive. I actually did a search around all the clans and the top 200 clans, and I only found a couple guys who were higher than him as a level 9 in trophies right now, in the top 200 clans, that is, and both of the people that I found had level 2 legendaries in their decks. They both had minor decks. Actually, I'm sorry, I take that back. I found 3. Another guy had a level 3 Sparky being a level 9, so sure, they're at 3,900 cups or higher. One guy was very close to 4,000 cups, but still, I consider what Nick's doing here more impressive. I don't know about you guys. At the end of the day, it's really not a competition. I'm not saying Nick is the best free-to-play player in the game, but certainly what he's done here is super impressive with level 10 commons, I mean, aside from the barbarians. So obviously, by his upgrading methods, you can see that the most important commons to Nick are probably the barbarians. Obviously, defensively, they're absolutely huge. It's really the staple of this deck defensively. And then on top of that, the second thing would probably be minion horde, because that's what he's working on right now. Oh, by the way, guys, a quick digression. I did obviously mention, and it's pretty obvious, that Nick has no legendaries in his deck right now, but he also has no legendary cards, period. So even if he wanted to add one to this deck, he couldn't as a free-to-play player. And it's funny, I get some people who are so lucky getting legendary cards. They tweet me every single day, Ash, I'm a free-to-play player, and guess what? Another legendary. Ash, free-to-play player, got Sparky, no big deal. And then some people tweeting me on the other hand who are like, Ash, free-to-play player, still no legendaries. I've been playing for 8 months, Ash, no legendaries. So it seems like some people just get really lucky, and unfortunately for Fade, aka Nick, I keep calling him one or the other, I should probably stick to one, but unfortunately for Nick here, he's not one of these lucky ones, although he said if he did get legendary cards at this point, he wouldn't even use them, no matter what the legendary card is, because he's just been playing these 8 cards in this combination so long now that he's so comfortable, no matter what he got, even if it was the Princess or the Ice Wizard, he wouldn't add it to this deck. So did think that was worth mentioning, because so often I'll get a question, somebody saying, hey Ash, I've been playing this deck for a long time, I just got Princess, what card should I sub her in for? And sometimes the answer is, and this sucks to hear because you're so excited that you just got Princess, but sometimes the honest answer is just go with what you feel comfortable with, go what's working for you. So yeah, just thought I'd share that insight regarding legendary cards as a free-to-play player. That's not to say you shouldn't use them, but definitely do what you're comfortable with. Don't try to stick a square peg in a round hole. So moving on with this match here, you can see he's going up against an Expo deck this time. All these opponents are either level 11 or 12. I asked him to show me some of his recent high-level opponents, and then, of course, the answer was they're all high-level opponents. I don't think he's played a level 9 in quite some time here. So you can see he's got a really nice combo going in the right lane, and if the opponent didn't have that Fire Spirit ready, that tower definitely would have been down there. Did a good job of baiting out those arrows. He knew it wasn't up in the opponent's cycle, but then the opponent did have those Fire Spirits. So that's what he's trying to do, though, with this deck, obviously, on top of the HOG. Now, check this out right here. We're going to zoom in. Look at that, 1 hit point left on that tower. Absolutely insane, and the opponent has the arrows as the next card up, but Nick was able to slide in there, get that left tower down. That was really impressive there in overtime. That was definitely a last-second win that was must have been gratifying for him. So let's go ahead and move on to the last match that I want to share with you guys today. Before this match ends, I'm going to go ahead and kick things off with the CWA Community Cork board. Getting a lot of messages from you guys. I do want to remind you again of 2 things before I let you guys go today. Thing number 1 is if you want to send a clan shout-out, a YouTube channel shout-out, I love hearing from you guys, and it's a better way. I'm already loving this new feature where every single video I play your audio recordings, and it feels like I get a way to interact with you guys a little bit more than I was previously. So I actually really enjoy this feature so far. I'm definitely going to continue doing it. So if you want to send me a voice memo or a voice recording, again, you can ask me any kind of a question if you want to, or you can give me some kind of a feedback. If you look at my gameplay and you see something I'm doing wrong and you want to share it with me, go ahead. Or any player that I highlight, if you say, hey, you know, Ash, you've been doing, well, for example, my last HOG video, I made a couple rookie mistakes and I zapped a Inferno Tower too early before it charged up. You guys could leave a voice memo saying, hey, Ash, as long as it's constructive, I do not mind criticism. So be sure to keep those coming, guys. I get a lot of them already, but keep them coming because, you know, I'm going to have a video every single day for the rest of my life. Okay, maybe not the rest of my life, but who knows? So keep those coming. And thing number 2 that I want to mention, if you missed my video yesterday on the HOG cycle deck, guys, shared some news that I'm super excited about for a small-time YouTuber relative to some out there like me. I am really humbled and excited to get the opportunity to maybe, just maybe, and it looks like it's about 90% right now, get a sponsor for tournaments that I'll do every single day on Twitter, making them much bigger than they currently are at only $10 a tournament. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, which is how I met Nick, coincidentally, go ahead and do so. It's at @clash_with_ash. I tweet out tournaments every single day, so hopefully I'll see you guys there. Give me a shout out. Say that you heard me in this video and that you follow me from there, and I'll definitely interact with you, answer any questions you have. Having a full-time job and a family and everything else, I do find it difficult to respond to every single YouTube comment, but I definitely do respond to every single Twitter message or mention that I get. So go ahead and hit me up there if you have any other questions or comments, guys. And while you're on Twitter, if you want to go ahead and follow Nick here, his Twitter is @It'sFade with the X for the A. So it's @It'sFxde. If you want to hit him up, say you're impressed or say that you're his #1 fan, go ahead and do so, guys. Also, in case you missed my previous 2 experts on the channel, I'll include their their Twitter links as well. It's Jordan and Zed, both pro trifecta / minor players. So go ahead and give those guys a follow. They're all great guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the CWA Community Cork board. Before I let you guys go, huge shout out to Nick. Thanks for letting me highlight your awesome gameplay and your achievement here, man. Way to go. And a huge shout out to Rage Reborn, their clan. Thanks for letting me do this, guys, and thanks for having me. So let's go ahead and move on to the Cork board.
Hey guys, I just had a quick question for Ash, and my question is, what do you think about level 1 players reaching Arena 6 and 7? Do you think they should be able to do that? Or, you know, I just want to know what you think about it. Also guys, please check me out on YouTube. My channel is Valencia for Life Clash Royale Gaming, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Hey Vic, aka Valencia, thank you for your question, man. To answer the question, by the way, you're seeing his YouTube channel in the background, guys, if you want to go ahead and check him out. To answer the question, though, I don't really have a problem with level 1s or 2s going for very high trophies. Obviously, they're targeting upgrades on specific cards to help them have one deck, and I have no problem with it. I think it's a cool little game within the game. You see the same type of thing in Clash of Clans, and I'm all for it. I like different types of competition within the same game system. So I hope that answers your question, and thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, take care.